Manufacturing in America isn't for the faint of heart. Yet, in the middle of Iowa, there's a company that not only kept its doors open, it built a product so durable and trusted that it's played on by thousands of families across the country. Goal Setter Basketball Systems. But it takes more than a business plan to pull that off. It takes risks, tenacity, partnerships, and a community that has your back. For Coline, that moment came on a Sunday night in September 2007, when everything they'd built was suddenly in the path of something they couldn't out-engineer.
The National Weather Service in Des Moines has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Jasper County in central Iowa. Please seek shelter immediately.
Dale and Tana Brand started Coline in 1979 with just 2 employees, welding and repairing for local farmers. Over the next 3 decades, they expanded into new products, embraced new technology, and built a team that felt like family. And on the morning after the storm, it was that family who showed up first. Both volunteers, neighbors, and employees who were not required to be there showed up to help rebuild that morning. Through the rebuilding process, they never lost one client in their list because of the damage. "This is just worldly sticks and stones," Brand said. "We will rebuild and we will be fine." I'm Travis Egan with AMT, and after 25 years in this industry, one thing is clear. The blueprint for innovation starts with values. The companies that go the distance are the ones that invest in their people, support their communities, and embrace the right technology partners like Hexagon. That's why I'm heading to Coline to see how a small-town Iowa manufacturer is doing big things by putting people first. Because at Coline, progress isn't just about technology, it's about the people who make it possible.
All right, Eric, thank you for having us here.
Well, we appreciate you coming out to Coline.
It is a beautiful day in Linville, Iowa, in the heartland of America, as you can see behind us, and it's such a pleasure to be here at Coline.
In 1979, when the company started, that was my parents, so I'm second generation in that. There was a ton of small farmers, and livestock and ag, it was a big thing around here. We built a ton of gates, livestock equipment, fixed farm equipment, you name it, we worked on it. But the manufacturing piece actually was a byproduct of the early days and that livestock equipment, because through the livestock equipment come the SureLatch product line. That was developed here at Coline and actually happens to be our only proprietary product that we still manufacture today. But that SureLatch product line is really what led us into stamping. It led us into robotic welding. It led into assembly and just more and more into the manufacturing space.
So let's talk a little bit about American manufacturing. I would imagine there's not a lot of US manufacturers of basketball hoops anymore. And so how do you stay competitive in a business like that?
We've had the good fortune to be aligned with Goal Setter Systems since nearly their inception in 1990. So it is a long-standing partnership that we've had with those folks from, I'll say, the original founders of Goal Setter. So it has been a long-standing and unique partnership. And you know, you've been through the facilities, you've seen all the technology and the machinery that we have, and it's great, and we have a lot of that. You can go anywhere in the world, and I'm sure you've seen it, that type of technology. It's the people of Coline that set that apart.
I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this morning. Some 30 to 50 of your employees are driving their hot rods in a parade out in front of the building.
Yes.
And then there were some burnouts.
Our culture is unique, and we try to be different here at Coline because, you know, our organization, we're a group of people. We're a group of people performing processes, and so we like to say that we work hard, but yet we want to play hard too. And so every Friday at Coline is what we call a Fabulous Friday.
Okay.
So we do something different every Friday. That may be simply having a free lunch for everybody. It may be a gathering, a competition. We'll have like what we call the Amazing Race, where there's biking, kayaking, running. I mean, you name it. We race around the lake over here.
There's always a little competition going on.
There's competition. Compete is one of our values as an organization. We have an amazing team, and I think that is really one of the things that sets this organization apart, because when you can start with a phenomenal team with a mix of very diverse talents and skills, and couple that with some of the latest technology that partners like Mazak and Hexagon and those type of tools bring, stand back. It is amazing what that group can accomplish.
What is Hexagon bringing to the table for you guys from a digital perspective to make you more competitive, save money, save time?
Hexagon's been a partner of ours for many years now, and they've brought a number of technologies to the table. Where we originally started with them was through their measurement technology, simply in the CMM area.
Okay.
And so that got us to know Hexagon and really start to understand their technology.
From Hexagon's perspective, they're using several of our solutions, starting with the Radan software for nesting. We've integrated that with their scheduling system to pull in work orders for demand to drive the nesting process. The nests get generated and run at the machines. From there, we also have our tube software. They do tube programming and nesting for the tube lasers, downstream to the inspection machines with the absolute arm and the CMM machines to ensure accurate parts first time.
So behind us, you'll see our 5-axis space gear, which was the first of its kind in the state of Iowa when we bought it.
Okay.
And it was able to get us into 3D trimming to feed from our stamping presses into a laser op to trim the parts after they were stamped. It's a great example here. We've got stuff like this that would be incredibly hard to one hit without trimming.
And so then you need 5-axis to make that cut, because you're going at all these different angles to make that cut on this part.
Absolutely.
And then there's all these different points you got to measure.
Yes. Well, that was previously, because now we just create the 3D point cloud, if you will, from the 3D scanning arm. So a lot of measurements would have been necessary if we didn't have the Hexagon technology that we have.
This part is a great example. I believe this part actually justified the purchase of an absolute arm just from the sheer time savings of inspecting this component.
Okay, so I love to hear you talk about digital twin. This is a topic that's talked about a lot in manufacturing now. A lot of it is probably theoretical still, but to come out here to Iowa to see that you guys have a digital twin of your actual products that are being produced, but also digital twins of the machines and the equipment, it's really being put into action to make you more competitive and give you opportunities.
We can make essentially a digital twin of a part in minutes or less in some cases with that scanning technology that Hexagon brings to the table.
Hexagon provides the tube cutting and nesting software for the Mazak tube cutting machines. So in addition to the flat cutting and the 5-axis cutting, we also do the tube cutting and nesting, as well as a digital twin simulation of the cutting process to check for collisions.
So this is Coline's newest machine. This is their Fabrigear 400 Neo.
Okay.
The Neo again gives them that fiber laser beam shaping capability. But rather than doing flat work, this is doing shapes. So shapes meaning rounds, squares, rectangles.
Big tube.
Yeah, up to 16-inch diameter. One of the great features about this machine is with the new control technology, it really makes it easy for a new operator to walk up to this machine and be able to operate a 26 programmable axis machine.
Right.
So this operator 4 weeks ago was in assembly. He had never seen a CNC machine before, and we put him on here and he picked it up.
Well, we know workforce is a challenge for everyone, getting people getting operators for these types of machines. So, 10 years ago, you would not have been able to do that. Now the technology is helping along.
The technology and the software and the control, the software that we use to program the machine really helps. So what you're looking at right here is just muscle. All these machines we looked at are all muscle down on the floor. The brains of that situation is the software that's running it, the control technology.
So essentially this is a digital twin of the actual part that's being produced on those machines.
And it also can incorporate a model of the machine tool as part of that simulation.
So you got a digital twin of the machine,
Yes.
digital twin of the part that's going to be produced. Ultimately,
Right.
why would we want a digital twin of either?
Well, ultimately, that's going to help you check for collisions. The last thing you want to happen is to find out at the machine that there's a problem. So if you're able to check that here, it's going to save you a lot of time.
So again, this is just a pretty basic end cut for us. Now this is something that you might be able to do with a saw.
Right.
It's this straight cut, but it also has a chamfer for what looks to be a weld prep.
Okay.
So not only did we cut straight down, but we cut this at 45 degrees.
So when they weld it, they can fill the
They
material
can fill the weld.
in. So digitally, I have the physics. I've got the kinematics of that machine. I'm running the machine. I'm running the part. I can see maybe if there is a failure somewhere or a part's out of spec, that sort of thing. And I can do it all digitally before I even do anything with running a single part on that machine. Make sure we're good to go before we start.
No, that's correct.
In a conversation I had with one of your employees, there was talk of you guys actually considering a humanoid robot investment, which absolutely blows my mind. You might think of a big billion-dollar corporation considering such a thing, but I'd love to hear that that's something that you would be thinking about investing in. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, that is accurate. We are looking at that, and that's where Hexagon comes into play again with their product line. And now that they've started to launch a humanoid robot, and they have a tremendous amount of depth in manufacturing, that goes back to my earlier statements where we can sometimes, as a small private organization, make investments that we feel are positioning moves for the future.
Yep.
That is one that we feel is that case.
In a world that moves faster every day, Coline proves that you don't need to leave your roots behind to grow. They've weathered storms, literally, and came out stronger. Not by chasing trends, but by holding tight to their values that got them there. Technology from partners like Hexagon sharpens their edge, but it's the people who carry the blade. The same grit that got them through the tornado now fuels their work for customers around the world. In Iowa, the storms will come, but it's what you build after they pass that matters.